Hello everyone. My name is Muyiwa Adedayo. I am a lecturer. I am an author. I am also a pioneer educational neuroscientist in Nigeria and by extension, in Africa. Presently, I have, or let me put it this way, that today I have a very fascinating topic to discuss with us, and the topic is titled "Frontal Cortex and Learning." But before I go deeply, in expatiating this topic, I would like, as usual, to acknowledge my neuroscientific heroes and heroines. The first group, are four Nobel laureates, and the first one is his name is Professor Eric Kandel. The second person is Professor John O'Keefe. The third and fourth individuals, these are also professors and Nobel laureates that have contributed to my understanding of neuroscience and educational neuroscience. And, these are Professor Edva Motza and Professor Mrs. May Brit Mossa. These professors and Nobel laureates were the ones who discovered the great cells in the brain. And then other professors that have contributed to my neurological understanding and growth are first Professor Nancy Kinwasher of MIT. The second professor uh, is Professor Chris Kumar of Johns Hopkins University. The third one is Professor Eleanor Maguire of University College, London. The fourth one is a professor there at NYU. Her name is Professor Wendy Suzuki. Then last but not least is Professor Jeff Littman of Harvard University. There are other professors too that have contributed to my understanding of this field, but because of this video, I would not be able to acknowledge them. So let's go back to today's topic, which I titled Frontal Cortex, and Learning. Yes, what is frontal cortex? But frontal cortex is just one of the cortices, in the human kind of brain. It is situated at the front, part of the brain. But basically, we have five, types of lobes or cortical, regions. The first one, just like I said, is the frontal cortex. The second one is the parietal cortex. It's just located, at this, point, or at this part, or in this part of the brain. The third one is called the occipital lobe. It is at the back, of the brain that is responsible. We do not see with our eyes, but we see with our brain. Then the fourth lobe, or the fourth cortex, is known as the temporal cortex. It's just at this part, of the brain. It is responsible for, the processing of auditory, input. It is also it is that part of the brain where the hippocampus, the amygdala, and others are situated. But there is one other lobe that is not that visible, to the human eye. Is referred to as the insular cortex. It is deep, below the hypothalamus, in the limbic system. So these are the lobes or cortical, regions that we have, in the human brain. So our focus today, is the frontal cortex, because it is connected to educational neuroscience. So the frontal cortex, plays so many roles. It is that aspect, of the brain that is responsible for speech production. It is that aspect of the brain that is responsible for attention, and so many other functions. But there is an aspect of the frontal cortex that is connected to educational neuroscience that I would like to focus on in this video. It is called the PFC, the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is an aspect, of the frontal cortex that is responsible for our work, for so many functions. One, the working memory is connected to the prefrontal cortex. The attention is connected to it. Our ability to think, to plan, to imagine, to carry out, to control our emotions, etc., is part of the responsibility of the prefrontal cortex. Then how does this connect to educational neuroscience? Yes, it has to do with the fact that when a teacher is in the classroom or when a lecturer is before the students, it is the responsibility of a brain aligned a teacher or a brain aligned lecturer to make sure that first and foremost that there is attention in the class. Like my one of my mentors, Professor Andrew Huberman, he said in one of his podcasts, he said that attention, okay, is the foundation of learning, that there is no learning without attention. And I came up with this formula called the FACT formula. Okay, the FACT actually stands for, is an acronym that I developed. Okay, the F there stands for focus. So it is important that new educators, okay, make sure that students, okay, focus, okay, on whatever they are teaching them. Then the second one, the A there is attention. Okay, the third one, the C, okay, represent or stand for concentration. That whenever a new educator